Welcome to Satsang. So beautiful to be together. Let us just take a moment and just close your eyes for a moment and allow yourself to come to center. Just allow that awareness, that attention and focus. Allow it to shift from being anchored in the world outside you to being anchored in the world inside you. And just draw that awareness. Draw it to your breath. And just allow that attention and focus. Allow it to merge fully into your breath as the breath flows in and flows out. And as you inhale, as the breath comes in, allow yourself to open to the flow of Mother Ganga. Let that flow of Mother Ganga flow into you as you breathe in the sacred prana. As you inhale, you're taking in not only oxygen, but you're taking in a sacred life force, prana. And here on the banks of Ma Ganga, allow yourself to take in that power and Shakti of Ma Ganga. Feel her waters flowing, not just beside us, but actually through you. Can you feel her waters flowing within? And as they flow, feel out those waters touching, awakening, filling every cell of your being. Feel them flowing through you, clearing and cleaning you on the inside, purifying you of all of that you're holding on to. All of that which is not self. And on the exhalations, allow yourself to let go. Let go into her sacred waters. All of that you are holding on to, but that which is keeping you stuck, the false identifications, ego, anger and grudges, the stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves, unfulfilled expectations, attachments. As you exhale, just let these go. Breathe them out into those waters of Mother Ganga that are flowing through you. And let Ma Ganga just carry them away. Slowly and gently, bring the palms of your hands together at chest level in Namaste. And just gently rub the palms of your hands against each other. Press the palms of your hands into your closed eyes. And slowly lower the eyes. Lower the hands and open the eyes. So we begin satsang with a question that comes in advance from our online internet-based audience. And then we'll open it up to all of you here. So any questions that any of you have, just have them ready. And first we'll take one that's come in advance, and then any questions that you have, we'll take those. What is the secret of your positive energy and stableness? That was asked by Priyanka via Instagram. The secret of my positive energy and stableness. I think 3 things. Probably more, but 3 that occur to me at the moment. First, surrender. I've got a very, very deep faith in the presence of a divine plan, but also a very deep faith that that divine plan is ultimately benevolent and loving and for us. That doesn't mean that we can't make a horrible mess of things, We're seeing it happen in the Middle East now. But aside from having given us free will that we can use to really, really mess things up, I really do believe that there is an omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, supreme divine. And that while the divine may not necessarily be involved in every nitty-gritty aspect of life, like what grade you get on an exam, or what job you get, or little things like that, I do believe that the divine is there and present every minute and every moment, and that ultimately really has my best interest at heart, my highest best interest at heart. And so I think number one is surrender, that I find myself very frequently just surrendering. Okay, God, you know best. Whatever it is, there must be not just a reason for it, but actually a benevolent reason for it. A reason that's going to help me grow and deepen and blossom and flower and flourish and serve more and more. So number one is surrender. Number two is I really don't worry very much at all about people's opinion of me. Meaning, obviously you want people to be happy. Obviously, I feel like one of my core aspects of my dharma is to share and spread love and peace. So I obviously want people to feel love and peace. But I don't move through the world thinking about or worried about, oh my God, what if this person doesn't like me? Or what if I make a fool of myself here? Or what if these people laugh at me? Or what if I, am not seen with that respect or this popularity, or whatever it may be that troubles so many people's minds. To me, I feel like as long as I'm living my truest, deepest, purest, highest dharma and path, as long as I can look myself in the mirror, look my guru in the eyes, look God in the face of God in all the ways that I see God. If I can do those three things, who likes me or doesn't like me or approves of me or doesn't approve of me, I really don't spend any time thinking about it. I think a lot of our positivity and stableness in our lives goes in this constant sort of, oh my God, what if people don't like me? Or oh my God, what if, I do this and then I'm embarrassed, or I, make a fool of myself. And, one of the things that people have noticed is that I've learned to speak Hindi. My Hindi is mostly fluent. I still make a lot of grammatical mistakes, but I speak quite fluently. I give talks in Hindi. But I never actually studied it officially, which is why I make still so many mistakes. And when people ask me, how did you learn? Aside from just listening a lot and speaking, the real way that I learned is I just started speaking. And people would laugh, and they would correct me, and I would keep speaking, and they would laugh more and correct me more, and I just kept speaking. And I'm so grateful for that, because if I had been someone who really worried about people laughing at me or being seen as someone who was stupid or silly or incompetent or a fool or something like that, well then you don't. You don't speak until you're really sure that you've got it exactly right. And I would speak and people would laugh. And I'd realize I had made some mistake, and sometimes they could stop laughing long enough to tell me what mistake I made. Sometimes they couldn't even stop laughing long enough to tell me what I had said that was so funny. But that's how you learn in life. If we're so worried about who's going to like us and what are the neighbors going to say, I mean, by God's grace, I never had a fear or any sense at all in my mind of, oh my God, samne wale kya sochenge or kya kahenge. Never in my mind. And so I think that's another really powerful aspect in my life, but also a powerful teaching. If you're looking for positivity and stability, you'll never get it. If you're constantly worried about what people are thinking about you or saying about you, and I think the third one is I laugh a lot, not at others, but at myself, and kind of at the nature of the human condition. And I don't take myself very seriously. I take my soul, my spirit, seriously. But the psyche, the human psyche that has angers and frustrations and jealousies and judgments and negativity and all of that I want, I don't want, this isn't fair, all of that. I don't take that very seriously. I move through the world with really a commitment to maintaining a good sense of humor. And it enables me to not get very upset with myself, but also not to get very upset with other people, because while I certainly don't laugh at people in an insulting or criticizing way, if someone does something that frustrates me or upsets me or hurts me in some way, I'll find a way to kind of see the human condition in all of that, and just kind of the nature of the universe in all of that, and to find something to be able to just marvel at. It's not always laughing. Sometimes it's just this, wow, matlab kya creation, like how this world has been and how humans are. And, you know, when I first came to India, one of the things that struck me but also troubled me, coming from America and coming from a world where it really was truth at all costs. I mean, I grew up in a truth at all costs, like you speak the truth, whatever it may be. And you know, in my house, it didn't matter what you did. If you lied about it, oh my God, there was hell to pay. But if you came clean about it, especially before you were caught, again, no matter how big it may have been, you never were yelled at or really punished for it, because as long as you were honest about it, honesty was the main thing. And so when I first came to India, I noticed that people here didn't quite abide by the same policy. And that there was sort of a culture of say whatever in the moment you think is going to make the person you're talking to happy, and don't really worry about whether it's true or not and what is going to happen later on. And it's something that really, really, really deeply bothers a lot of people from abroad who come to India. People say, why do people lie? Why do they lie so much? And I remember in the beginning, I had called the man who does our computer work and from whom I was purchasing different computer things, whatever I needed, tech stuff. And I needed a new wire that connected my computer to the printer. And I call him, and he's in downtown Rishikesh, and I call him and he says, I say, do you have this cord? He says, yes, I have it. And I said, great, how long is it going to take you to bring it to me? He said, maybe half an hour. I have some people in the shop, then I'll leave. I should be there within half an hour. So an hour goes by, he doesn't come. I call him and he says, I'm so sorry, more people came into the shop. I'm just leaving. I'll be there in 20 minutes. An hour goes by. I call him, he says, I'm on the bridge. I'll be there in less than 10 minutes, on the bridge. An hour goes by. I call him, he says, I'm so sorry, I don't have that cord, actually. Would you like me to order it for you? Now, one way of addressing the situation is to become irate. I mean, who are you? How dare you? You've spent half the day lying to me about where you are along the way with my cord that you promised me you had. Now I discover half a day later that you hadn't even looked for it, let alone left the shop and arrived on the bridge with it. So one way is you could become just furious. Give yourself a heart attack, give yourself indigestion, raise your blood pressure, get all sweaty. Another way is you laugh. Just laugh. And you say, yeah, sure, please order it for me as quickly as you can. I mean, what benefit do you attain by getting furious about it? And so for me, that policy has served me very well, of rather than, oh my God, I can't believe I was lied to or insulted or this or that or all the things that trouble us so much. Rather than that, you just laugh them off, let them go. And of course, I'm not talking about the deep abuse or betrayal or harm. I'm talking about the stuff of day-to-day life. The more we can learn to just exhale, laugh it off, let it go, find yourself filled with wonder at the amazingness of the human population, the less you're going to be troubled. So those are probably the top 3 aspects that I'm most grateful for to maintain that positivity and stability. And of course, these are things that everyone can do. So, yeah, other questions? Yes, just come up. We've got a microphone, 2 microphones here.
Good evening. Sometime back at the aarti, you mentioned a very important point about polluting river Ganga. My question is, right after the aarti, so many people were putting the diyas and flowers in the river. In the morning at around 6 o'clock when I go for a bath in the river, I see that all the flowers are collected at a place and there are lots of flies and things, and it is really dirty. So my first question is it really necessary to worship river Ganga in this manner by putting diyas and flowers in it?
Great question. What's the second one?
Okay, and the second question is, when I walked down the river, I saw that there are treated effluents which are being released in the river, not even a kilometer from here. People can just take a walk and it is released on the river, you can see that. And there is an open gutter wherein plastic black water is being released in river. People from all over the world, not just from India, take gallons of water, put it at their homes, worship it and drink it. Is this really how we are treating the divine Ganga?
Okay, great. So first of all, with regard to the diyas that people put on Ganga, Is it necessary to worship Ganga in this way? Absolutely not. And in fact, we've stopped it all from our ghat. I know there are still people from the market who sell them and people come, but from our ghat, from our side, in our aarti, there is nothing that is put in Ganga, not even flowers without the diya. In the spectrum of things that you could put in a river that pollute the river, flowers are obviously at the least harmful level, but nonetheless, you're absolutely right. They end up bunching together, they wash up downstream. They absolutely end up choking the river in a lot of places. And it's totally unnecessary. God created this beautiful earth in which flowers exist on flowers. The idea that God somehow wants us to kill something that exists, something that God has created, in order to offer it back to God, is as ridiculous as the idea of killing animals or killing virgins. There are traditions throughout history, thankfully not now, but that used to sacrifice young virgin girls to God as though somehow God wanted that. There's still traditions, tragically, that sacrifice animals as though somehow God wants that. But the idea, even though this is a much more harmless or less harmful way, the idea that God creates something so beautiful and then wants us to kill that in order to offer it back to God makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. The flowers that should be offered are flowers that have freely given themselves from the stem. This is what Puja Swamiji teaches. Don't pluck flowers. You'll see signs up here all over the place. Do not pick flowers. But that's for puja. Into Ganga, nothing. Nothing into Ganga. We are with you fully. We've tried to stop the flower boats many times, but in a free market situation, it's hard to stop it completely. We've stopped it a lot. We've certainly stopped it happening from our ghat. So absolutely we agree with you fully. Nothing should go in Ganga. And the second question with regard to the other waste and sewage, it's awful. It's something we've been working on for a very, very long time. And the only thing I can offer you is that it's getting better. It's a lot better than it used to be, where there's now one, there used to be many. It used to be sort of wherever you looked, there was waste flowing into Ganga. By God's grace, it's much less. Nonetheless, there is still critical work left to be done. And this is where it really needs to be a people's movement. We have what we call anshan, which is, like a demonstration. People go for anshan and we demonstrate. But in addition to anshan, we need action. And this is where one of the things that we work on and are so committed to is bringing in technologies. Bringing in better and better and better technologies. And whether it's sewage treatment plants that don't get flooded in the monsoon, that don't, run on diesel and then run out of diesel, and all of the things that ends up messing up the treat the waste programs. We're constantly trying to bring in newer and newer technologies. So yeah, it is absolutely awful. We agree fully. And just to say that we're working for it, but we actually need everybody to work for it. Ganga Ganga is for everyone. And what that means is that it's all of our collective responsibility to do whatever we can with our technology, with our time, with our talent, with our resources. Yes, there's things that are the government's responsibility, but the government is made up of us. Government humse alag nahi hai. And so rather than criticizing and condemning government, what it means is that we all need to stand up and be part of the change and take action to bring a change. So yeah, thank you. Other questions? Yes?
I have 2 questions.
Okay, great. Come here. Mic la Navia. Yabe. You can come here. He'll bring the mic to you. How about that? Come. Then everybody can see you. Come here. You can come close. You want to sit up here with me? Okay, yes.
My first question is, how do you believe in God?
How do you believe in God? Like, how do I believe in God, or how would you start believing in God?
How would I start believing?
Beautiful. Beautiful. If I show you a painting, okay? But there's no signature. You know, usually when you make a painting, the artist signs the painting. Imagine that I show you a painting, but there's no signature of the artist on it. Does that mean that nobody painted it? Somebody had to paint it, right? Even if we don't know the name of the painter, we know somebody painted it because I have a painting, right? If there's a beautiful dinner in front of you, beautiful yummy vegetables and dal and chapatis and all kinds of yummy, yummy things, even if there's no cook, there's nobody there, you're sitting alone at the table, magically this dinner appeared, does that mean that your dinner just came from the sky, or did somebody cook it?
Somebody cooked it.
Somebody had to cook it, right? Even you don't know who cooked it, somebody had to cook it. So in the same way that you know there was a painter because you see the painting, and you know there was a cook because you see the dinner, well, when you look around and you see this beautiful creation, like look at those leaves. Look at that, right? Amazing. And look here, more leaves. And we have flowers sometimes. And then sometimes you see monkeys and birds. And if we sat here long enough, the sun would rise. So where did all that come from? Who planned that?
God?
Right? So, I mean, there has to be in my mind someone who understands things. If I say to you, I want you to go into a science laboratory and I want you to make me a human being. You can choose the best scientists in the world. Money is no object. You have all the money in the world. You have all the power in the world. Get the top scientists of the world together. Can you make me a human being? Why not?
I don't know.
Because scientists don't know how to do it, right? But forget even a human being. If I said to you, I want you to get the best scientists in the world and make me a mosquito. Can you make me a mosquito? Could you make me a leaf?
An artificial one, yes.
No, a real one, a real one. Could you make me a real leaf? Artificial is that? Plastic.
No,
You can't make a real leaf. Why?
because we can't do it.
We can't do it. Now, this is very interesting because, you want to come up too? Okay, she can come too. It's okay. Her sister's here. It's okay. You can come too. Okay. You can come. Okay. So, now.
I want to ask one question.
Okay, we'll finish hers and then you can ask, okay? Okay. So, our scientists know The best scientists in the world could actually tell you what our leaves are made of. They can tell you everything. How much carbon, how much hydrogen, how much nitrogen, all of that which goes into these leaves, they know. They even can use these fun styrofoam balls and sticks, and they can put them together like molecules, and they can show you how it all comes together. But they cannot create one. We cannot create life in a petri dish. Forget a human or a mosquito, we can't make an amoeba. We cannot create life in a petri dish. Which means someone other than our best scientists in the world has to know how to do it.
God.
Right? There you go. So when you want to believe in God, just look at the leaves, look at the sun, look at the flowers, look at the birds. Or even look at yourself. Like, before you go to sleep at night, you eat maybe junk food. You ever eat junk food sometimes at night? Pizza, French fries, things like that. It happens. Then you go to sleep, and in the morning you wake up, and what happens? You go poop, and it all comes out, right? Amazing. Like, who does that? Who figured that out? God, right? I mean, what better system? You put in junk, but it actually comes out. That's amazing, no? It doesn't kill us, not yet anyway. We're actually able, amazingly, to put in junk. You put junk in the engine of a car, it stalls, doesn't go. Anything that humans make, if you put pizza and French fries in it, no go. But human beings, we've got this ability to digest not only that which is good for us, but even that which isn't good for us. And speaking of sleeping and waking up, you're in the middle of a beautiful dream. Somewhere else completely. Who wakes you up?
Mom.
Mom wakes you up. Good. What if mom didn't come in? There must be some days, maybe Saturdays and Sundays, that mom doesn't wake you up, that mom lets you just keep sleeping? On those days, who wakes you up?
I wake up on my own.
How? You're in the middle of a dream. How do you wake yourself up? You're not even there.
The dream stops and I wake up.
Not always, though. If you're in deep sleep,
God wakes me up.
God's the only one who knows how to wake you up. Otherwise, we are gone. So there's so many things that God does. So it's like from the painting, we know there's a painter. From the meal, we know there's a cook. And from this beautiful creation, we know there must be a creator.
God.
Does that make sense?
A lot.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Yes, now you. You want to give her the microphone? She's your sister, yeah?
No.
Oh, friend. Okay. Good. Well, you inspired her. Yes.
Now, sun is a god, yeah? Moon is a god. Sun is a god, yeah? Moon is a god.
Ah, yes. So, the sun is a god, the moon is a god. So, when I was talking about God, I was talking about what we would call Brahman, the supreme reality, that which is everything in the universe. And I was also talking about Lord Brahma, the creator, right? So we have God who is everything. In you, in me, everywhere and everything is God. The sun, the moon, not just Surya Dev or Chandrama, but actually Brahman, that supreme reality. But then we also have Lord Brahma, right? Lord Brahma creates the trees, the flowers, the humans, the sun, the moon, everything. Everything is created. But also that which is created is also divine. And it's a very good point you raise. Because one of the beautiful things about Sanatana Dharma, about Hinduism, about our Vedic tradition, is we actually take the creation, the elements, as sacred also, as divine also. So we say Surya Bhagwan, right?
Yes.
And we say Chandra Mama, right?
Yes.
And we say Jal Devta, the god, water god, Agni Dev,
Yes.
fire god.
Yes.
So what that reminds us is that everything is divine.
Yes.
So you're right. Everything reminds us that God is there. Because everything is also God.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Beautiful. So whenever she forgets, you can remind her, okay? Good.
I have one more question.
Yes. Let me give you the microphone back. Yes.
If somebody does something unfair to you, unfair with you, then what do you do?
Sometimes life is not fair. And it doesn't feel good, does it? It hurts.
A lot.
A lot. It does. It does. But when someone does something that isn't nice, then we have a choice. Either we get ourselves really upset, which means that we actually give them the power to make us happy or sad. And that's not a good power that you want to give to somebody else. Because otherwise, in your whole life then, you become happy, then you become sad, then you become happy, then you become sad, then happy, then sad. People are nice to you, you're happy. They're not nice to you, you're sad. Then they're nice again, you're happy. Then they're not nice again, then you're sad. So it's a very difficult way to live. It's much easier if you can be happy from the inside. And then people will always do what people do. But you don't let yourself get sad or angry because of what they do. And I'll tell you a secret about why. Let's say that I had a cold. Let's say that I was not well and I had a cold. I had a fever and a cough and all kinds of not fun things. And you came close to me and I sneezed on you or I coughed on you and I gave you my sickness. Okay? Now, that would not be a very nice thing to do. When we're sick, we should stay home and not make other people sick. But if I made you sick, how did I make you sick? First, I had to be sick myself, right? Like, I'm not sick now, so I could fake cough or fake sneeze on you, but it's not going to make you sick. Because I'm not sick. I don't have those germs in me. If somebody is giving you sadness and pain, what it means is they have sadness and pain inside of themselves, and that is why they are able to give it to you. If someone is spreading meanness and misery, that's because that's what they have inside. What does your air conditioner give you?
Air.
What type of air?
Cold air.
Cold air. What does your heater give you?
Hot air.
What does your heater have inside of it?
Hot air.
What does your air conditioner have inside of it?
Cold air.
So they only give what they have, right? So when people give you sadness, it's because that's what they have inside them. If somebody hurts you, it's because they are hurting themselves on the inside. People who are happy and peaceful, they share happiness and they share peace with other people. So if someone is treating you badly and hurting you, it's because inside them they are hurting. And so you should feel compassion for them. Try to feel love for them. Pray for them that they should not be in pain. But don't let your inner happiness be based on them. Okay? Can you do that? Because you know where your source of happiness is? Right here in your heart. That in your heart is your source of happiness.
Got another question.
Oh, okay. Okay. Does that make sense?
A lot.
Okay, good. Yes, last.
May I go sit?
Of course, sure. Yes.
I was saying grass and trees and flowers are and gods too.
Grass and trees and flowers are gods too. Absolutely. Absolutely. I actually think that grass and trees and flowers, I think they are probably some of God's favorites. Don't you think so?
Yes.
I mean, they're so beautiful, right? God must just love the flowers and the trees and mountains and rivers. Don't you think so?
Yes.
So if God loves them, what does that mean? That we should be nice to them or we should be mean to them?
Nice.
Nice, right? So it means we should take care of our trees and our mountains and our forests and our grass. Right?
Yes.
And you think God loves all of us also?
Yes.
I think so too. Do you think God loves animals?
Yes.
I think so too. So what does that mean we should be?
Nice too.
Yeah. Nice to everybody, right?
Yes.
Good. Thank you. Beautiful. Yeah, let's give them a very big round of applause. Thank you. That was wonderful. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your evening, everyone. A beautiful morning to our family from all over the world. And so much love to you all.